love hearing about blessings and miracles in other people's lives. It's wonderful, it's encouraging, and it's nice to know that the Lord blesses all of us in different ways. Although I've realized that, the Lord wants to bless us and miracles happen. In fact, I try to make it a habit of praying for a miracle at least once a day. In fact, my son took care of it just, I think it was yesterday, 2 days ago. We were sitting around the table for the first time at the table in our place, and we had pizza in front of us. And my son said, "Hey, I'd like to pray." And I said, "Okay, go ahead and pray." And he said, "Lord, thank you for this food. Help it to nourish our bodies." And I'm like, that'd be a miracle. If the Lord could use pizza to nourish our bodies, that takes care of the miracle for the day. And so, but I love praying for miracles, and I love it when the Lord blesses my life. But not always in our lives do we allow Him to bless us. And even though He wants us to, sometimes the miracle's there and we just won't accept it. And that's kind of where my faith story comes. Something I learned from just refusing to accept a blessing that was offered to me. But like any fun speaker, I want to start with a joke because I like jokes. There was a man who was in a flash flood. You guys, I haven't been here for a flash flood, but I'm pretty sure in Arizona you guys get flash floods, right? No? Well, if you okay, you do. Good. Well, he was in a flash flood. And he was on his porch, and the water is rising, and it's up just above his porch. He's got one of those raised porches, and it's already lapping up at his knees. And a rowboat comes by, and they say, "Quick, jump in. We'll get you someplace safe." He said, No. The Lord will save me. So we sent the rowboat on. Well, a couple hours passed, and he's standing on his porch, and the water's now up to his chest. And a motorboat comes by, and like, "Hey, climb aboard. We'll get you out of here." He said, No, the Lord's going to save me. And they're like, "Oh, okay." And so he climbs up to the top of his roof. Flood is still coming. It's up to his neck. And a helicopter sees him from above. It comes down, and they yell, "Hey, we're sending a rope. Come on up." He goes, No, the Lord will save me. Well, he drowned. And he goes to heaven, and he goes right up to God and says, "Lord, why didn't you save me?" And the Lord looked at him and said, "I sent 2 rowboats and a helicopter." So God, He provides. He sends stuff for us, but sometimes we just refuse to accept it. When I was young, I can't remember the exact age. I was probably 8 or 9, and my sister was 5 or 6. And we lived in a mobile home, and across a little dirt street was our little school we went to. And across this little field that we'd play in was a small Christian camp. And at this camp, they would sometimes, when it wasn't camp time, have like revivals. And I remember this was a night of a revival, and I think my dad was speaking at it. And so my dad and mom were over there, and they're like, come over at 6 o'clock or whatever time it was. And I knew that before revival, they were going to be selling snow cones. Don't get too excited, but they were selling snow cones before the revival. My sister and I, we didn't eat a lot of snow cones, but we were really excited. And we had our own little savings and money, and I decided of that night that I didn't want to spend my money on a snow cone. I was going to keep holding on to it, a bit of a hoarder. But my sister, she was 5 or 6, she had saved 50 cents, and she was going to go get a snow cone beforehand, and she was really excited. So we go together, I'm in charge, and she comes with me. We walk across this field, we get in line for the snow cones, and we're almost to the front of the line, and I'm like, "Okay, give me the money." And so she gives me the money, and I count it out, and she had 40 cents. Now, I knew that when we left, she had 50, and there was a dime missing. And so I was like, "Oh, no." But I remembered that I had a dime back at our mobile home, and so I thought, well, we'll just go back. I'll give her my dime. We'll do this. And there was an older gentleman behind us. I was 8 or 9. He could have been anywhere from 20 to 80. I have no idea. But he was an older gentleman, and he was behind us. And he overheard our discussion and concern over this 10 cents for the snow cone. And he kind of taps me on the shoulder and says, "I've got a dime. You can have this dime." And at the age of 9, even then, my hubris was unbelievable. And I said, No. Don't worry about it. We've got another dime at home. I couldn't take a dime from this guy. I mean, a dime was a lot of money to me. And I felt like, there's no way I could accept this gift of a dime. I mean, that was 20% of the whole cost. I probably didn't think that at the age of 9, but I knew it was a lot. So I'm like, we'll go get it. And so we go back to the house, and I go to my dime, and I couldn't find it. And she didn't have any more dimes. And all of a sudden, there's no dimes, and we got 40 cents. So then I think, okay, we'll search through the field and find the dime. So we retrace our steps. We search all over this field looking for this dime so that she can get her snow cone. And finally, we had to give up. We showed up to the revival late and snow coneless. And you know what? I have learned so much from that experience of, first of all, how stupid I was. But God provided a blessing for us that day. A miracle. We had not have the money. Boom! There was the money. And I turned it down. I said no. I wasn't going to take it. And by doing that, not only did I rob myself of that miracle, not only did I rob my sister of the snow cone, I'm going to have to call her later and apologize. I feel bad now. But I also robbed this gentleman of a blessing of being a giver. I don't know if you guys have ever been behind someone younger. You got a pocket full of change. What's a dime? If for some kid's happiness, you probably spend more than a dime, even if you'd never met him before. So if it makes a difference for a little kid, sure, here's a dime. Imagine if you've got a little kid in front of you who wants a snow cone, you give them that dime and they get a snow cone, you get to see that look on their face. They got the snow cone. Oh man, that would make me feel amazing. And I took that away from him. He never got to see that of us. He wanted to, and I didn't let him do it. And from that, throughout the rest of my life, I've had to battle against my pride of when God gives me a blessing of saying thank you instead of no thank you. And I always go back to the same snow cone because, you know what? When someone offers you something, when someone provides for you, when the Lord uses someone else in your life to be a blessing, and you accept it, you're not the only one getting blessed. There are way more people getting blessed than just you. The person who, everyone is involved in that is being blessed. And so I've kind of made a theme of my life is, when I get to a point in my life, and we've been talking about faith and blessings and miracles, and I see God putting something like that into my life, still to this day, every time it happens, I really want to say no because I'm like, God will take care of me. Don't worry. I trust Him. But God takes care of us through all kinds of different ways. And so I always try to say yes to the blessings. And you know what? It's made my life so much better. It's changed the relationships I've had around me. It's freed me to receive the blessings of God. And it's really helped break my own pride and know that, you know what? I can't do it on my own. I can't do it without my church family, without my friends, without my God. And I don't want to cut any of those people out of my life. And so to hear the stories of potatoes that don't go away, and to hear the stories of how God paves a way in our life to bless us years down the road. Isn't it great that you guys said yes to those blessings? It gave you a story. It gave you a God moment. And so, I can look back at that empty hole where God wanted to be and I didn't let Him. And I just kind of promised myself that from now on, when God shows up, I'm going to let Him be a part of my life. And so that's what I wanted to share with you guys tonight. Thank you.